Out of a million people, it makes me one in a million. And what I noticed over time was that when I would clog or buck dance or flat foot in front of the local audiences in Rhode Island, they thought I was tap dancing. And I said, no, that's more on the toes, it's more showy, it's more expressive with the upper body and the arms. Nope, this is more flat-footed. They also thought it was Irish step dance. And that's my fake Irish. But you have a much stiffer upper body and you're dancing on the toes a lot more too. Nope, this is flat-footing, I would say. Also known as clogging, buck dancing, jig dancing. And I learned to dance on the road for the last 20 years. Anytime I would meet somebody in North America and the British Isles who did some kind of percussive dance, I would say, oh, you have to teach me that step. The first time I ever saw anything like this was in Eastern Kentucky in 1992. That's when I learned to do simple flat-footing steps. This is the two-sounded walking step, also known as the buck step. Back then I didn't wear tap shoes, I just wore leather-soled shoes. That same year I learned Indian, which is thought to come straight out of Cherokee ceremonial dance. I've been told by more than one Native American dancer that this rhythm only exists in Hollywood. And this step, too, I learned that year, which is thought to come from West African people. People call it the chug. And one time somebody in Georgia told me that in some West African dance steps, if you cross your feet, you're inviting the devil in. So I did those steps for a long time. And over time, I would meet people who would show me things. For a long time, I did the two-sounded walking step. And then I did the three-sounded walking step. And it took me 2 years to master it, but I learned the Tennessee walking step, which is 4 sounds. And that I could do all day. There's a woman in Indiana I met once. Her name is Tamara Lowenthal. I bet some of you know who that is. And she talked about telling stories with your feet. Like if I'm doing the Tennessee walking step, I might just want to take out the sound my right toe is making. Or perhaps the sound my left heel is making can go out too. Take out the right heel. Take out the left toe. Back to 2 sounds again. Maybe the Lone Ranger just walked in. So you can tell stories with your feet. Some of the old folks would call it talking feet for that reason. So around the different states, Canada, I learned all kinds of steps. Some ladies in Arkansas showed me the scissors once. Or the silent scissors. A guy named Charlie Burton in Pennsylvania showed me the gallop. And a boy named Caleb Cobb, 13 years old in Arkansas, said, add a step to that, it looks Irish. In North Arkansas, where Elwood and I go a lot, we go to the Ozark Folk Center in Mountain View. They call it jig dancing there, it's very vigorous. And one time, I saw a bunch of the dancers on stage. They were wearing overalls and long dresses, and there was this one guy in particular. He was 11 feet tall, and he weighed 20 pounds. And that's the first time I ever saw the wheel. Fred Astaire always said, do everything on both sides of the body to be a good balanced dancer. He didn't say it to me personally, but. And I can do both at once. I just don't really feel like it right now. But Margaret in Connecticut reminded me of the beauty of syncopation. Some ladies in North Carolina showed me the Applejack one year. And kind of a saucy slide. combination of the backstory of our ethnic history as Americans. We have a little bit of Native American, African, British Isles, continental Europe in this dance form. And then for me personally, I have a story for every step I do. So I would take this home, and I'd even explore some of the Canadian steps that were a little more on the toes. A little pitter-patter from Prince Edward Island, or the Cape Breton broken ankle. And weave them into my own improvised style, freestyle. Take them home to Foster, Rhode Island, to our 18th century farm, deep in the country in Rhode Island. I know it sounds impossible, but there is a lot of woods in Rhode Island. And in the deep winter, I would practice in the barn, crossing that quiet rural road from the red farmhouse to the red barn. One time I was in the barn all by myself, concentrating to see how fast I could go. I stopped when I heard this outside. You're getting better! And it was this guy who does a loop on his bike every day, 10-mile loop, and he'd been monitoring my progress for weeks. There's another story of some new neighbors moving into the log cabin. You have to go through the field, through the woods to see this house. And for a whole season, we didn't meet them. When we did meet them, they said, "We thought you were building an addition for a while." No building ever went up. And then finally, this other time, I was practicing and I left the barn. The guy was jogging by and he said to me, "Were you exercising horses in there?" And that's a little taste of my talking, clogging monologue.